They will bump you.
Okay.
It's the worst thing a honeybee can do to you before they sting you. Oh, I just got bumped, I think.
Oh yeah.
It's basically like they'll dive bomb you.
They'll dive.
So you might have felt something on your back because they go up 20 feet and they dive by me and they bounce off of you.
Okay.
That's
Wait,
the worst thing that they can do.
Stinger and leap?
No,
Oh, okay.
no,
They just
to bounce off of you.
Okay, gotcha. It just scares you.
It's the worst thing that they can do before they use their stinger. So if we get bumped a couple times, then we can move.
That
Do I
video
look like a psychopath?
No. So we're here today in James' backyard, and as you can see, he's got multiple beehives, and he's got a lot of bee contraptions and devices, and he's just very knowledgeable with beekeeping and molecular biology.
At an undisclosed location in Troy, Michigan.
And we're here to learn about the natural history of bees, what it takes to keep them, and honestly, it's going to be casual conversation about beekeeping, and then we might dive into permaculture and how beekeeping relates to ecosystems and ecology. So stay tuned for this one, guys. I might take that part off, but
It's all right.
yeah.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give us a like and a subscribe.
But yeah, James, if you wanted to introduce yourself real quick and how you got into beekeeping and your background in molecular biology, that'd be great.
Sure. So my name is James Nager. I live here in Metro Detroit. Forever ago, I got my master's in biology from Wayne State with a focus in molecular biology. I worked in a plant DNA lab. So our focus was floral organ development genes. So I'm a bit of a flower sex scientist, if you will. And our model organism was spinach, which is a wind pollinated thing. I never really got too into pollinators or anything, but flowers was kind of a big focus for that, for our research at the time. After grad school, I got into, well, as I'm desperately trying not to graduate, got into brewing beer and worked at a couple breweries and started working at a meadery, which is a small winery that makes honey wine or mead. So I've been working with honey professionally now for about 13 years. Just 3 years ago, I decided finally to take this beekeeping class. There's an 8-month long in-person intensive, like a hands-on thing with the Southeastern Michigan Beekeeping Association, where you'll have your bees, you'll have your hive in a class apiary, which is the beekeeping location. It's called an apiary.
That sounds fascinating.
And so they have 2 locations in Metro Detroit that they run this class every year. Every year it sells out. If you want to take the class, sign up in December and January.
Okay, gotcha.
There are some introductory things that you do before the bees arrive. You know, you set up your hive stand, set up your equipment, make sure you know some basic honeybee biology. And then it's a once-a-week thing with an instructor. And then they give you a gate code and you can go take care of your bees whenever. And
That's
at the
awesome.
end of the season, you move them out, take them home, and hope that they survive the winter. But I did that at Bowers Farm.
Oh yeah, I love that farm. Yep, I go there to buy stuff.
Yeah, very cool location for educational reasons and otherwise. But so that was fun. I have some amazing beekeeping mentors. I've been studying honey hunting and mead making and beekeeping for the last 15 years.
Okay.
So I finally pulled the trigger on this class and finally decided to get hands-on with these things after knowing for a decade that I knew everything there is to know about bees. And turns out I don't.
I got some wax in my mouth.
Yeah, we were eating some comb honey before. We'll be spitting it out for a couple hours.
You got like a background, like a deep background of 15 years of accumulated knowledge to research before you started. So that's awesome that you know that at such a deep level, especially a topic as complex as this.
There's a lot to learn about bees and wasps and biology in general.
Yeah.
But I want to be clear, I'm not an expert in anything.
No one is in biology.
I have done a lot in beekeeping in 3 years, but you know, it's been 2 years in a row, 2 winters in a row, where I've had 100% die off. 100% of my honeybees have died either before the winter or in the middle of winter. And that's bad.
Yeah, but that's how you learn from your mistakes. And
but it's challenging. That's what I've learned. So even if I have my Master's of Science and I've studied it for a decade and I've taken this intensive course, one of my mentors is the president of the Michigan Beekeepers Association.
Okay.
Another one's been doing it for 30 years. I have amazing, amazing mentors and contacts because I've been working with honey for so long.
Yep.
You know, you get to know beekeepers. It wasn't really until I started doing it that I really started to have this appreciation that it is really hard. It's a technically challenging thing to do.
Yeah.
But it's an art and a science.
Yeah.
and you have to have both.
You need both.
Some people get lucky, and some people work their asses off and they still have huge problems.
I love the blending of art and science, which is why I keep aquariums. But could you talk a bit about the art component? Like what is the art component of beekeeping?
So with honeybees, it's kind of like herding cats, but it's 75,000 per stack.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of cats. In terms of the art of it, I mean, if you have 10 different beekeepers, you'll get 13 different opinions. Mm-hmm. So there's more than one way to do this and do it well.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of ways to do it poorly. And there are different opinions, you know, like in the Yukon and in Canada, back in the day, every honeybee colony would be euthanized. And they would take the honey instead of giving it to them to overwinter for 6 hard months. And then in the spring, they would just replace them all with what are called packaged bees. So you can get 3 pounds of bees on a little wire cage shipped to you through the mail.
Yeah, 3 pounds.
A truckload at a time. And they would just repopulate all of their hives every year as just a matter of course.
Okay.
Nobody really does that anymore, except in really extreme locations.
Yeah.
But even in the Yukon, Etienne Tardif and some of these other folks are working on making our hives, human-made hives, more like what a tree would look like. So having more insulation, having sensors inside so that you can monitor them, make sure they're doing well.
I see.
Because the honeybees will survive in Russia, in Siberia, over winter, you know?
Do they like shut down their bodies, or do they just hibernate?
More or less. So the honeybee colonies, unlike wasps, will overwinter as a group.
Okay.
So the girls that are flying around now will all be dead in 3 weeks. But they have this replacement rate.
But why would they be dead in 3 weeks?
So it's just their natural lifespan in the summertime.
Oh, that's their lifespan. Okay.
For the workers, they will work themselves to death. But they're constantly being born and constantly dying.
Yeah.
And right now they're more or less at their peak population. But after the summer solstice, it starts to decline.
Okay.
The bees that are born in September and October will be bees, what are called bees of winter physiology. So they're it sounds terrible, but they're built different. They are fed differently. They're raised differently.
Yeah.
You're okay. Whatever you do, just don't swat anything.
Okay, yeah, then they'll
If you swat,
trigger it.
Yeah, you don't have anything they want. But if you step on them or you squish them or you slap them against yourself,
Yeah, they'll send a signal that they're under attack or something.
yeah, they will take a bit more of an interest in you.
Probably not a good idea to eat some honey while doing this close to them either, right?
You'd be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. The honey is what they want.
Okay.
Unless it's all over you.
Yeah.
So yeah, bees of winter physiology, they're literally built different. Their bodies store energy in a different way.
Okay.
And they will survive 6 months.
6 months.
So they are the bees that will shepherd the entire superorganism through the winter.
Yeah.
For wasps in the fall, like yellow jackets that are flying around here, they produce queens and male wasps in the fall. They mate and then they disperse, and the queen overwinters by herself.
What is the interaction that they have with this species of bee? What is that called again?
This is a bumblebee.
A bumblebee.
There are hundreds of species of bumblebee, and I don't pretend to be an expert in any of them. The interactions between native bees and solitary bees and what are called social bees, like honeybees, is really interesting.
I bet.
A lot of people are under the impression these days that honeybees are bad for native bees and that they have a detrimental effect on mason bees and bumblebees and solitary bees. And the reality is that they do, but it's like number 15 or 16 on the list. So it's like, why am I fat? It's because, I'm obese? Whatever.
It's a bunch of reasons, but
because I eat too much and I work out not enough. Not because I go to Five Guys once a month, but maybe also because of the Five Guys.
Yeah, but that's probably not the main reason.
That's not the main reason. I'm overeating across the board.
Yeah, caloric deficit, yeah.
I wrote about this in the article I sent you about the fake honey, the bee-free honey.
Okay.
Which is illegal to market it like that.
Bee-free honey.
So
Why is that legal?
It's human-made syrup.
Okay.
That they're calling bee-free honey.
I see.
Made without bees.
So what is it, like corn syrup?
It's glucose and fructose and
That's like
flavorings.
not good for you.
No, I mean, it is what it is. It's totally vegan. There are vegans that eat honey and there are vegans that don't. There's vegans and there's vegans.
Yeah.
And so if you're a vegan and you want to become a vegan, maybe this is a cool product, but it's so expensive. You can get other stuff at the store, like agave syrups and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I've tried agave.
The point that they're trying to make with that particular company is that commercial honey production is destroying the environment.
I see.
Which is really kind of a wacky propaganda.
Yeah.
It is true under certain circumstances. Like if you have 1,000 beehives in one concentrated area,
Yeah.
For overwintering purposes, in some areas of the world, that can certainly have an effect.
Because it'll take out the other pollinators or something?
No, it's resource competition. So it's basically like in Troy, if we had 150,000 people show up tomorrow and just start camping out,
Yeah.
our health system would be strained, the educational system would be strained, the EMS system would be strained.
Yeah. You just need a balance out.
You need a balance, exactly. And so there is some research, particularly out of some very specific areas in Australia and New Zealand, where if you park 1,000 hives in a certain area, you'll have a negative effect. But nobody's going extinct because of honeybees.
It's just the fluctuations happening throughout an ecosystem level.
Yeah. A lot of things are going extinct because of humans.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I said the resource competition is like 15th on the list.
Yeah.
Number 1 is habitat loss. Number 2 is chemicals from humans.
Oh yeah, forever chemicals and
Everything. Herbicides, pesticides.
those are the big ones. Yeah.
The herbicide
monoculture.
companies, they will tell you stuff like Roundup as an herbicide has no effect on humans, has no effect on honeybees.
Yeah. But
They won't drink it.
And it was proven it does have, it gives you cancer in a certain amount of dosage.
Gives you cancer.
Yeah.
And also, even an herbicide, a synthetic herbicide, like a chemical, will have effects on, maybe if it doesn't have direct effect on you, but they've shown that it affects the microbiome in your gut.
Yeah.
So it does affect bacteria, and it affects the bacteria that we like, that are inside of us right now.
Right.
You may not know this. This is a wild biology fact. Maybe this can be a segment, wild biology fact.
Oh yeah, wild biology facts, yeah.
If all of the cells in your body were to participate in a democracy, by the numbers, you have more cells in your body right now that are not human than are human.
Because of the gut
Because
microbiome.
of bacteria, because of viruses, bacteriophage.
Wow.
You have more cells, more individuals in your body that are not human than you have individual human cells.
And without them, I would not be alive, right? Like I need them. Yeah.
You would not be able to efficiently digest anything.
That's what's amazing, and that's what a lot of people don't know. Like they're always trying to wash their hands and be free of all germs, but without that guild of healthy, good bacteria, your body will crash and like you'll die literally without them. So like it's all a symphony. So
there are there are different species of bacteria that live on the skin on your left hand than on your right hand.
Yeah,
It's a totally different population, even though you're doing this all day.
The farmer Joel Salatin, I interviewed him. He said this in another interview though, and he explained it beautifully. I think he said it to Joe Rogan, but he was saying, my bugs need your bugs, and your bugs need my bugs. It's all just like a harmony because of the interactions are so complex between beneficial bacteria and human bodies. So I don't know the deep science behind it. I just know we need it. We need to be connected.
All bacteria and all viruses aren't good, but a lot of them are.
Yeah, you need to maximize the good ones, so you won't get sick as quick. You won't, age as quick. There's so much to it.
So if you're spraying Roundup all over your yard, or even in the dandelions, and a honeybee goes to the dandelion, brings back those chemical residues.
Yeah, it's going to go.
It's affecting their microbiome.
Yeah.
And it's affecting their health.
Yep.
So it might just be like a single straw. But if we have 100 straws on the camels, like what's the last straw that's going to break this system?
It's a bioaccumulation thing. That's why it's so tricky. It's hard to detect. People want to give a yes or no answer to things like, oh, look, it's still alive, so glyphosate's not doing anything.
Right.
But the thing is, it's bioaccumulation.
Right.
And it's at the
in the wax as well. Like the residues will build up in that darker comb that I showed you.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with pesticides, same thing with herbicides, same thing with anything.
Yup. It's just like, just because you don't see like dire consequences immediately. It's like a slow buildup, and what's scary is that it's at the molecular level. So you're basically it's like you're disintegrating your body, because it's like, that's not something you should mess around with. You're at the molecular level.
Well, and like, if you and I take an antibiotic or something and we have to repopulate our gut with a microbiome that's healthy, we may not die, but for 2 weeks we'll be hitting the toilet pretty hard. It's the same thing with honeybees. Imagine having 2 weeks of being on the toilet constantly, and then somebody breaks into your house and hits you with a baseball bat, and cuts off an arm. Right. It's like, how many more things can we do to these bees that will lead to these colony losses that we're seing?
And I think
this past winter's been like 60% plus for the commercial guys.
Oh, I see.
The people that have been doing it for 40 years that have 10,000 hives. Can't have more than half of your, like if Joel Salatin lost 60% of his life, and this might be an interesting conversation to have with him. It's like, if every winter you were having an average of 60% of your cattle die, how long would you be in business? And that's the situation for honeybee farmers now. I like to call them honey farmers, honeybee farmers. Some of them are farming out the bees for pollination services, and some of them are producing honey. Fewer are producing honey than are renting their bees for pollination, but that is the most critical aspect of honeybees in the United States right now.
Which is
that they're used for pollination.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Our entire agricultural food system right now is dependent on pollination services.
If bees die, we die. The old saying,
We're moving towards a lot of other varieties of plants and different crops that we will eat that don't require bees because of this. It's been such a challenge.
We're developing crops that don't require bees at all?
Correct. So almonds, it's a big one. In California, they require honeybees for pollination. However, there are now self-fertile varieties that they're moving towards. They're not necessarily GMO, but it's just a different variety. The yield might not be as good as almonds with honeybees doing the pollination, but you also don't have to have the honeybees there. So if you have a problem like we had this year, the availability of honeybee colonies for pollination because of all the die-off, then you can still have a high amount of production for things like almonds, which I try not to eat anyway, but for various reasons, they're not great for the environment.
A lot of water usage, I heard.
It's like 10 gallons of water for a pound of almonds. They're grown in monoculture.
Is it possible to grow?
You have to put the bees in and take them out. You can't just leave them there.
You got to put,
because they will starve, because there's nothing else there.
Is it possible to grow almonds outside of monoculture methods?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like you could.
Yeah, you can grow anything outside of monoculture.
Like a right plant guild.
Yeah, you can have a couple trees.
Right.
But if you have 100 acres.
You got to wipe out all other life.
You're a billionaire. Like the Resnicks, California, are pistachio. It's the Palm Wonderful people.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm not trying to be too political about it, but
no, it's all good.
They control a ton of the water in California, which belongs to the people.
What about the fact that people say water is there's always the same amount of water on Earth, but the reason almonds use more is because it's being allocated to almond production at a time. Is that why? Because you can't increase or decrease the amount of water.
You can't grow stuff in the desert without water.
So you got to take it. Just taking it.
So they're taking it from somewhere, and it's coming from somewhere. So I think there was a public reservoir. I wish I knew the name, but there was a publicly owned reservoir, massive reservoir in California that the Resnick family purchased. I don't know how many years ago, but so that they could divert it for their farms.
Gotcha.
And that's one of the reasons why with the wildfires in California that they've not had as much water that they need for fighting the fires, because they sold it up,
That sucks.
Some Republican state government forever ago sold it to this private company.
Wow. So their access with the water is down because they're using it. Okay.
Yeah.
And that water comes from...
That's a dystopian kind of future.
Yeah. The water that they're using for almonds that would have been used for wildfires, where's the source of that?
It's coming from snowmelt and from rivers and stuff.
Lake Tahoe or anything like that?
I'm geographically really challenged.
Okay.
So I can't speak too intelligently on that, but
the system of water usage.
There are areas of the country where collecting rainwater from your roof is illegal, because that's kind of like you're stealing it from the groundwater system.
Oh,
And I don't agree with that. In the same world as we have these people that are buying up an entire
yeah, they're just trying to
basin.
control it. They're trying to control.
It's control.
Yeah.
Either way, it's control.
Mass control of natural resources is not good, I don't think. I feel like we need individuals to have more knowledge on their like local environment more. We need more small farmers, small permaculturists. Like, I wanted to segue into what you guys have done to your front yard, how amazing I think that is, and how I think we should all have front yards like yours.
Yeah.
But it's a cultural challenge because people look at you weird. But one quick,
Sure.
I want to just talk about what you did to your front yard and the fact that you probably don't use any glyphosate anywhere in your front or your back. We don't either. But I see all my neighbors, they're putting fertilizer and their herbicides, their weed killers, like routinely, you know, they're putting so much work into trying to control nature on their backyard, on their front yard, on their front lawn.
Yeah.
And so if we can, it's a waste of time and stuff because you don't have to do any of that, because if you look at your grass, it's like filled with diversity. I see with like dandelions and clover.
Do you know the history of the lawn?
Basic history. I know it comes from like the British culture, I think.
The basic history of the lawn is, look at this land that I have that I don't need to grow vegetables on. I'm rich and it's a status symbol. Therefore, instead of growing vegetables because we need them to survive, I'm going to grow grass. And look at all my grass that I've got. I'm not poor.
Yeah,
that is basically in a nutshell, the history of the lawn is a status symbol.
Yeah.
And it's to show off to the neighbors, look at my lawn. Look at all this land that I have that I could grow food on.
Food and get pollinators.
And I don't have to.
Yeah, and get plant diversity and detritivore diversity, bird diversity.
Yeah.
I would say
get rid of all that.
Yeah.
And just show people how rich I am.
Exactly. Just because of culture, we're hitting the environment with like such a hard hit. All the glyphosate, all the herbicides, all the pesticides. If you add it all up, it's contaminating waterways. It's like
it's water usage too.
Yeah.
I mean, like they're putting the fertilizer on, they're putting the herbicide on, and then they're running the sprinkler for a couple hours.
Yeah.
At 4 a.m. You know? And where does it all go? You know, we're in the Clinton River watershed right now.
Yeah.
It's all going to go right into the lake.
Exactly. And I'm a fisher. I've been fishing like for a long time, since a kid. And Michigan recently expanded their range of waters where you cannot eat any of the fish that you catch because of forever chemicals. And a large part of that is due to, you know, chemicals runoff from people's lawns. And it's like we're destroying nature because of this cultural status thing. And that's what really irks me, which is why I'm doing these podcasts, to talk about it in a more conversational, long form, to talk about what the problem is, because it's such a solvable problem. It's just stop messing with your lawn, let the nature express itself, and then you do minimal management, but you don't have to like control it at the level we're controlling it. The average American citizen mows their lawn with heavy machinery.
Yeah, it's expensive.
It's expensive. The fossil fuel usage, we don't need any of that, honestly. Like, I would just like viewers to envision a world where everybody has these food forests instead of same species grass lawns, and just see how beautiful that vision is. And because then there would be more birds, there would be more pollinators, and then that would lead to more other wildlife like chipmunks, squirrels. Everything would just be flourishing, and we could still have our advancements in technology alongside nature, harmony in nature.
I mean, it's as simple as clover. Like I'm not gonna eat that, but in this area, clover is so important for all kinds of bees.
Yeah.
That this is a food for. This doesn't look like a food forest, but this is a food forest because they're producing honey for me and everybody else within 3 miles.
Yeah.
So
it's a grassland food forest.
$30 worth of clover seed every year.
Yeah.
And I don't have to mow it as frequently.
Yeah.
And they produce a ton of honey for me.
Yeah.
And I like it. They look great.
And you think about all the different types of beetles and stuff that enjoy like the bottom-up effects of having like not just the clover, let's say, will attract, let's say, 4 or 5 species, which other species depend on their populations for a food source, which then those birds depend on for a food source. So if there's like a really rare species of bird that you want to watch and increase their population, like a Baltimore Oriole, not putting stuff on your lawn is one of the best ways to help the Baltimore Oriole, because it'll have access to more options of insects to eat. So I mean, you help every part of nature when you let nature express itself and you let it regenerate, and then you do management from the outskirts of that. So I like to say nature should be in the steering wheel, like actually running the show, and you're kind of managing that direction. Sure. Yeah. But that's a little analogy I have.
This is a little bit more managed than maybe some other sort of permaculture gardens, but I am very much a student of Masanobu Fukuoka. We talked about that a little bit.
I've read some of his work, yeah.
People misinterpret his philosophy to be that it's do nothing, meaning I'm not going to do anything, I'm lazy, I'm this and that. There's a lot of setup. You let it drive, but you have to teach it how to drive first.
Yes, you need to have like understanding of ecology, which isn't really taught at a deep level in the school system. I think we should be teaching our kids this stuff, like how to grow food, and I think that should be way more important than some of the other subjects we're teaching them.
Well, bring your camera over here. Let me show you something.
All right.
I don't want to talk too much because it'll attract the honeybees, but even just having something like this in the backyard, I think is useful for exposing kids to this stuff, you know? Because as long as you keep your mouth shut, you can sit your chair right here and watch them coming and going for hours, doing all kinds of wild stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That you would never notice otherwise, you know? We've got an entrance on this one over this way, so I won't get too close, but I don't want to get stung in my rear end here, but at certain times of the year, you can smell it 30 feet that way. Like when the goldenrod gets going.
Okay.
But there's this hive product aroma. It's comprehensive. It's not just the honey and the nectar, it's the pollen, it's the bee bread, which is a fermented protein storage for them.
Okay. Oh my gosh, they're getting close to me.
You're fine.
I've experienced the searing pain of a sting like a month ago.
Nah, you'll be fine. The louder you are, and the more you open your mouth, like if you're a mouth breather, I wouldn't recommend beekeeping. That's like I said with the monkeys. Don't show them your teeth. Close your mouth when you're done talking. If I were to knock on the box, it would be a different story.
Oh yeah, they get pissed quick.
But this is a good time for it. So it's almost noon here. This is the best time to be this close to the bees and to do your beekeeping because approximately half the population is gone. Yeah. They may be foraging up to 5 miles away and coming back, probably less. But, you know, the round trip might take them 10, 15 minutes. 6 o'clock, I wouldn't want to do this.
Yeah.
Because they'll be all coming home. There's actually a bit of a bee rush hour that you can see at like 4:45, 5 o'clock. It's really kind of fun.
Well, some bee just did the bump on my head.
Okay, well, let's back up. I really wanted to show you this one. So this is a special one.
All right.
Because it's got this observation component. And this is only half of the colony. You know, it's a 2-queen hive, so you've got one entrance on this side, bees coming and going this way, and another one this way, and it's along the bottom ones there's a divider. So there's a queen on this side and there's a queen on this side, but one of the side effects of this setup is you have this cool little observation window.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
So it's a beehive and it's an observation hive at the same time, which I love.
It's a functional observation.
Yeah, there are some things that you can put on top of a regular hive that'll do something similar, but that's one of my best features about this, I think.
Yeah, I could get my macro lens for this shot from here.
Yeah, well, and we could suit you up, and it's got one on the other side.
Okay. Yeah, my macro lens would love this.
And I have 2 other hives that are fully observation hives.
Okay.
That show you different things, but I think this is so cool.
This is amazing, yeah.
It doesn't happen frequently because she runs away from the light, but I've seen the queen up here a couple times.
Okay.
I mark all my queens with some non-toxic paint, so they're easier to see. This is one of my favorite things about this. This is a new hive design for me. It's called the Keeper's Hive.
Okay.
Which is, I think they had an Indiegogo or a Kickstarter, but I really like it.
Wait, you got this through Kickstarter?
Yeah, I think it was a Kickstarter or Indiegogo. I can't remember which. But there's a guy named George Datto. He designed these parts that come out.
Yeah.
And the bottom frames in the brood chamber slide out this way.
Okay.
So you don't have to lift anything to inspect the brood chamber.
Okay.
And it also has this cool. So there's a two queen version and there's a single queen version.
I see.
I just got the 2 queen one to be extra, but
That's amazing.
it's a pretty cool little hive. If only for the educational aspect of doing a 2 queen hive for the first time. But the design is cool that you don't have to lift. So on these ones, if I wanted to inspect the brood chamber, you can see like in the bottom boxes is where they'll have the baby bees. And in the top boxes is where they'll super their honey.
Okay.
Even if you don't use something like this, which is a queen excluder. It's basically like a metal grate that's sized so that she can't get through it.
Uh-huh.
So she'll never be able to lay eggs up here.
I see.
But in order to check on their health, you need to lift all these heavy things off.
I see.
And so the more successful you are, the healthier your bees are, the more they punish you with the weight.
Gotcha.
I have gotten away from the paint on the boxes. I prefer the wax dipping, which is a fun little thing. You can kind of feel it's not sticky, but
Wax.
they boil the woodenware in this crystalline wax for like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Drives out all the water, preserves the wood really well, makes it waterproof, makes it last for 20 years.
20 years.
With these things, they're just painted on the outside.
Yeah, that's gonna rot maybe.
So when you use them, if any water gets in, if like you can see this is one of my older ones.
Yeah.
Just by using it, just by not putting it perfectly together,
Yeah.
you'll have the inside parts will rot away.
I see.
So a painted box may last 10 or 15 years if you take care of it, but a wax dipped one.
That's the
You're not
wax
dealing
dip.
with paint, you're not dealing with chemicals, and they're lasting much longer.
Oh yeah.
And the bees like it.
Oh, the bees like this more.
Whereas if you leave it untreated, you can see this is an untreated bottom board, unpainted, undipped. This is already starting to degrade.
Is it bacteria that's causing it to degrade, like the molecular component?
It's just
of it?
wet wood,
Yeah.
fungus. And I did this intentionally just so I can compare. So this is a wax dipped bottom board, this is a painted bottom board, and this is an untreated bottom board.
Okay.
Especially in the wintertime, a lot of these hives, if you have a solid bottom board, they will condense water from the top. Well, they must have a top entrance there. Oh, they're checking us out.
I see. Oh, what is that bug
I
working?
have
its
no
way?
idea.
That looks cool.
A moth of some kind.
Yeah.
These boxes are remarkably busy
Yeah.
with spiders and other kind of bugs and other wasps and other bees and
That's funny. I also use cinder blocks like that for my aquarium stand.
yeah.
My
This is one of the
makeshift aquarium
cheapest, easiest types of hive stand.
Right.
Just a couple cinder blocks,
Easy to move around.
a couple 4x4s.
Yeah.
Or they might even be 3x3s or something.
Yeah.
This one I had to get up off the ground a little bit more because the design here is, oh, I just got bumped, I think.
Oh yeah.
The design here as well, besides not having to lift anything, is that you're seated when you're doing your beekeeping. And I really like that idea.
That is really convenient.
Being getting older, you try to figure out a way to do your beekeeping without having to lift. All of this.
Yeah, all of
A
that.
box like this could be 100 pounds.
Yeah.
This could be 80 pounds.
How often are you lifting them? Like once a week type of deal?
It just depends, yeah. Could be once a week, could be once a month.
Yeah.
Depends on the time of the year. In July and June and July, there's a lot of management that you have to do.